If you've ever felt stiff, achy, or just a little off when you wake up in the morning, you're not alone, and you're certainly not broken. But here's something remarkable. In certain regions of Japan, men and women in their 80s and 90s wake up, stretch, move through their day with surprising ease, and rarely see the inside of a gym. No supplements, no fancy machines, just daily movements woven into their lifestyle. What they do differently isn't intense exercise. It's small, consistent motions that keep their joints lubricated, their muscles active, and their balance razor sharp. And these aren't trends. These movements have been quietly practiced for centuries by generations who live longer than almost anyone else on Earth. Today, we're going to reveal 6 of the most powerful movements Japanese elders do every single day. The same ones that may be the key to aging gracefully, staying strong, and maintaining your independence without ever stepping foot in a gym. Japan has long been admired for its astonishing longevity rates, consistently ranking among the top in the world, with life expectancy surpassing 84 years on average. But it's not just about living longer. It's about how they live. In regions like Okinawa, often called the land of the Immortals, elders in their 90s and even 100s are still tending to their gardens, walking to the market, cooking, and playing with great-grandchildren. And when researchers from Harvard, the World Health Organization, and the Japan Gerontological Society began studying these populations, a common thread emerged: movement. Not the gym kind, not marathons, but natural, low-impact, daily motion. These elders weren't counting reps or wearing fitness trackers. They were simply living in a way that required their bodies to bend, stretch, and balance all day long. The science behind this is powerful. A study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology even found that the ability to sit down on the floor and get back up without using your hands is a predictor of longevity. The secret isn't pushing harder, it's moving smarter and more often. Let's dive into what these smart movements actually look like. Movement 6, the squat-like sit, floor sitting and getting up. Imagine sitting down for dinner, not at a table with chairs, but cross-legged on a soft mat on the floor. For millions of older adults in Japan, this is completely normal. They've spent a lifetime sitting Seiza style or cross-legged on tatami mats, and while it might seem uncomfortable at first, here's where it gets fascinating. This simple act of getting down and back up off the floor engages multiple major muscle groups, the thighs, glutes, hips, and core, without feeling like exercise at all. Over time, this daily repetition strengthens not only the legs, but also the stabilizing muscles needed for balance and coordination. And there's real science backing this up. A 2014 study in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology introduced what's called the sit-rise test. Participants were asked to sit and stand from the floor without using their hands or knees for support. The results were striking. Those who performed well were significantly less likely to die in the next 6 years compared to those who struggled. Floor sitting encourages flexibility in the hips and knees, while the act of rising activates power in the lower body. But perhaps most importantly, it trains the body to stay independent, avoiding the dreaded chair dependency that can creep in with age. And because Japanese homes often include low tables and floor cushions instead of chairs, this isn't something elders have to remember to do. It's built right into daily life. The good news? You don't have to live in Tokyo or own a tatami mat to benefit. Practicing sitting and rising from the floor even once or twice a day, safely and within your limits, can reignite those dormant muscles and improve mobility in surprising ways. What feels hard today gets easier with repetition, and the reward could be years of added strength and independence. Movement 5, the morning limb shake, Ragio Taiso routine. Every morning across Japan, from tiny village parks to bustling city courtyards, a curious sound begins to echo. Cheerful piano music followed by a calm voice counting rhythmically. This is Ragio Taiso, or radio calisthenics, a simple movement routine that's been broadcast nationally since 1928. And despite its vintage vibe, it's still practiced daily by millions of Japanese elders, often in small community groups or right in their own homes. At first glance, the movements look almost childlike, raising arms overhead, swinging them side to side, bending the knees gently, rotating the torso. But the genius of Ragyo Taiso lies in its subtlety. These small, rhythmic motions loosen stiff joints, wake up the circulatory system, and gently stimulate the lymphatic flow, all within 3 to 5 minutes. It's not intense, but it's incredibly effective, especially as a daily ritual. Japanese health authorities continue to endorse Ragyo Taiso, not just for seniors, but for all age groups. Studies from the Japan Gerontological Society show that older adults who participate in daily calisthenics like Ragyo Taiso experience better balance, fewer falls, and improved joint flexibility. And neurologically, the routine serves another vital function. It builds consistency. That morning cue, music plus movement, helps regulate the body's internal clock, supports mood, and maintains a strong sense of routine and purpose. What makes this especially powerful for aging bodies is its accessibility. There's no equipment needed, no coordination requirements, and no risk of overexertion. It's the perfect antidote to the stiffness many of us feel upon waking, and it's why so many Japanese elders begin their day not with coffee or news, but with this gentle, energizing ritual. Want to try it yourself? You don't even need Japanese radio. There are English versions online, and within just a few sessions, you may notice your body moving a little easier, your breath flowing a little smoother, and your day starting with just a bit more pep. Movement 4. The outdoor walk to shop or garden. In Japan, you won't find many elders circling the mall in sneakers or counting steps on a smartwatch, but you will find them walking a lot. Not as exercise, but as part of living, whether it's a trip to the corner market, a stroll to the post office, or a slow meander through a home garden. Japanese elders are constantly on their feet, moving through the world with purpose. The design of Japanese towns and neighborhoods plays a key role here. Streets are compact and walkable. Public transportation requires walking to and from stations, and even something as ordinary as buying tofu or fresh fish means putting on your shoes and heading out the door. This habitual walking may seem small, but it's a powerhouse for health. A study from the National Center for Geriatrics and Gerontology in Japan found that seniors who walked daily, even short distances, had significantly lower risks of disability and dementia. But it's not just about the walking itself. It's about how they walk. Many elders take their time, often pausing to greet a neighbor or admire flowers in bloom. This slow-paced, mindful walking lowers cortisol levels, enhances mood, and gives the brain time to process and reset, all of which are protective against cognitive decline. It's movement as meditation. Gardening, too, is a major player. In Okinawa, 90-year-olds still tend to their vegetable plots. They squat to weed, reach to prune, and walk from plant to plant. Research from the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity shows that gardening combines aerobic movement, flexibility, and strength, all while reducing stress. And because it's enjoyable, people stick with it for decades. In the end, it's this naturally embedded motion, walking to live, not just to exercise the war, that helps keep Japanese elders so vibrant. You don't need a pedometer or a treadmill. Just start with a daily walk around the block or tend to a few potted plants. These modest rituals may be the closest thing we have to nature's gym. Movement 3, deep knee bend for daily tasks, picking things up. In many Western households, the simple act of picking something off the floor is often avoided or done with a reacher tool, especially as people get older. But in Japan, bending the knees and lowering into a squat is second nature, not for fitness, but for living. Whether it's retrieving a dropped item, sweeping the floor, or harvesting a daikon from the garden, Japanese elders perform these deep knee bends countless times a day, often without even thinking about it. What's so remarkable about this? It maintains quadriceps and glute strength, improves ankle flexibility, and reinforces core stability, all of which are critical for staying upright and mobile. Studies published in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science show that seniors who perform regular squatting or deep knee bends have significantly better balance and lower fall risk than those who avoid these motions. And unlike gym squats, which can feel intimidating or forced, these are woven naturally into household chores and daily rhythms. There's a cultural component too. In traditional Japanese homes, many tasks are done close to the ground: folding laundry, pouring tea, organizing belongings. This forces the body to remain limber and capable of handling floor-level activities. And because this type of movement is repeated so often, it acts as a low-impact strength training program that builds functional resilience over time. You might be wondering, what if my knees hurt or I've avoided squatting for years? That's perfectly okay. Start with small, supported versions. Use a chair or countertop to steady yourself. Go only as low as feels comfortable. Over time, your range may improve, and you'll notice daily movements, like getting in and out of a car or rising from a low seat, start to feel easier. What seems like a simple bend is actually a sophisticated, age-defying movement. It's one of the reasons Japanese elders can move confidently through their homes and gardens well into their 80s and beyond. And it all starts by giving your knees and your muscles a gentle daily challenge. Movement 2, tatami transitions, up and down from the floor. In a typical Japanese home, many activities still happen at floor level: sleeping on futons, eating at low tables, meditating on cushions. That means elders don't just sit on the floor. They're regularly getting up from it too. These repeated transitions from standing to sitting and back again might seem ordinary, but they are, in fact, one of the most powerful full-body movements a person can perform as they age. Think about what's required: lower body strength to descend, core control to stabilize, upper body coordination to assist if needed, and balance to complete the movement smoothly. A single transition uses nearly every major muscle group, and when done multiple times a day, these movements act like a built-in workout, preserving function without the person ever thinking of it as exercise. What's especially compelling is how predictive these transitions are of long-term health. A Brazilian study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology found that the ease with which a person can get up from the floor is directly linked to life expectancy. The fewer points of support they need, like hands or knees, the better their survival odds. This echoes the lived experience of Japanese elders who remain agile well into their 80s and 90s, simply because their lifestyles have required these movements all along. There's a neurological benefit too. Rising from the floor challenges proprioception, your body's sense of spatial awareness, and trains the brain to coordinate movement in complex ways. This helps prevent falls and sharpens reaction time. It's one reason Japan has one of the lowest rates of hip fractures among industrialized nations, despite having one of the oldest populations. You don't have to sleep on the floor to reap these benefits. Start by practicing a single up and down movement daily, using cushions or yoga mats for comfort and safety. Over time, this one simple act can build confidence, restore mobility, and provide a surprising boost in physical independence. The floor, once feared, becomes a training ground for graceful, grounded aging. Movement 1, Tai Chi-like daily flow, slow, mindful motion. Here's where the secret becomes almost invisible, yet incredibly powerful. Unlike the West, where exercise is often defined by sweat, speed, and strain, Japan's culture quietly embraces slow, mindful motion. From the gentle precision of a tea ceremony to the graceful posture of bowing, movement in Japan often reflects a deep-rooted philosophy: calm motion, brings strength, both physical and mental. You won't always see Japanese elders doing formal Tai Chi, but the principles are everywhere. Flowing transitions, body awareness, balance training, and breath control. Whether it's slowly folding laundry, methodically tending bonsai trees, or carefully sweeping a walkway, these activities combine stillness and motion in a way that strengthens both muscles and the nervous system. The science behind slow movement is compelling. A 2016 study published in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy found that slow, deliberate motion improves balance, increases joint stability, and activates deep postural muscles more effectively than fast, repetitive movements. It also enhances neuromuscular coordination, meaning the brain and body stay in sync, which becomes increasingly vital with age. And there's more. Gentle movement lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that accelerates aging and weakens the immune system. Practices like walking meditation, slow stretching, or even moving through one's home with intentional posture help regulate the autonomic nervous system, keeping the heart rate steady, the mind calm, and the body in a healing state. In other words, moving slowly helps you live longer and better. This type of motion is a kind of daily tune-up for the entire body. No rushing, no racing, just steady, purposeful activity. And when elders engage in this kind of movement regularly, it shows. Their posture remains upright, their steps stay steady, and their faces reflect a kind of calm resilience that's hard to fake. If you're looking to integrate this into your day, try starting with 5 minutes of slow stretching in the morning, or simply focus on moving more mindfully throughout your chores. The key is to feel the movement, not just perform it. This may be the most underrated anti-aging practice of all, quietly powering some of the world's longest living people. So often we think of exercise as something separate from life, a block of time carved out to lift weights or walk on a treadmill. But in Japan, movement is life. It's not something elders start doing at 65 in response to aging. It's something they've built into their day, every day, for decades. That's the secret. No gym memberships, no wearables, just repeated natural motions that nourish their joints, keep their muscles firing, and preserve their independence far longer than what we're used to seeing in the West. And here's the hopeful part. It's never too late to begin. Even if you've been sedentary for years, your body still responds to these kinds of movements. The human body is beautifully adaptable, especially when we treat it with care and consistency. You don't need to move to Japan or throw out your chairs, but you can start sitting on the floor occasionally. You can add a short daily walk or practice getting up from a cushion. These small rituals compound, not just physically, but emotionally. They reconnect you to your body, to your breath, and to the quiet strength inside you. Japanese elders have shown us that it's not about how hard you push, but how often you move and how mindfully you do it. The science supports it, the lifestyle proves it, and your body, no matter your age, is ready for it. Start small, stay curious, and remember, movement is not just a prescription, it's a gift.